Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the top door trim on your range, and it's a really easy job. All you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver. Let me show you how we do it. Now, to do this repair, it's easier to take the door completely off of the range and set it on a suitable work surface. So open the door to the broil position, let it sit there, grasp both sides, and just pull it straight up off of the hinges, and then we'll set it on a suitable work surface. Now that we have the door on a suitable work surface, we're going to begin by removing 3 Phillips head screws across the bottom of the door. That secures the outer trim to the inner door panel. Next, we'll go to the top side of the door and we'll remove the 4 painted Phillips head screws that secure the top of the trim to the inner door panel. Now, the 2 outer painted screws are the ones that hold it to the door panel. The 2 inner ones just secure that metal trim to the top trim piece. So we need to remove them anyways. And once we've removed those screws, we can lift that trim piece off and set that aside. And now we're going to flip the door over. Now once we flip that over, you'll notice that there are a single Phillips screw on either side that needs to be removed. On some models they may be up closer to the top. On this particular one, they're about halfway down. Now that we've removed all the screws on the bottom and the 2 screws on the sides, we're going to lift up on the bottom trim of that door. We're also going to be picking up the outer door glass as well. Once you've tilted that up a bit, pull it straight down, disengage the top metal trim from the plastic trim at the top, and then we can set this portion aside. Now at this point, we have 2 Phillips screws that secure the handle and top trim assembly to the inner door panel. So we'll remove those 2 screws. Now once we've removed the 2 face screws, you'll also find 2 screws on the ends. Remove those as well. And you'll have to support that handle and trim at this point. That will remove it from the inner door panel. We can flip that over. There'll be 2 Phillips machine screws that hold the handle to the top trim. We're going to remove those. Now to install the new top trim, we're going to position the handle in place on the outside of it. And we'll install the Phillips screws through the inside. These are the machine screws that have the little lock washer. So just snug one side up first. I want to make sure that everything lines up before we tighten them. Let's do a visual check on the outside. And then we can tighten them securely. Now we can set the complete assembly on the door, line up the 2 face screws as well as the 2 that are on the ends. And then with the self-tapping Phillips screws, we'll connect those. You need to make sure that the 2 screws on the face are nice and snug, not to the point where we strip them. Then we'll install the 2 end screws, and be careful not to over tighten these because they're just going into a thin plastic tab. Just make sure it's aligned straight. Snug them up gently. Now before we put the exterior trim and exterior door glass on, it's a good chance for you to clean the inner door glass, and you can remove 2 screws on either side here to lift those brackets off, and that'll allow you to get to the inner door glass. You can also clean the back side of that before we put it all together. Now we're ready to reinstall the frame and the outer door glass. We want to make sure that the top ends of this outer trim go inside the top trim and that the glass fits into the slot. You need to push upwards on it, make sure it engages, and then carefully lower the trim over the plastic studs that the screws are going to fit into. Now that we have it pushed into place, we're going to flip it over, and then we'll reinstall those 3 screws across the bottom. Now it's easier to start with the one in the middle, because that'll raise it to approximately the height that you need it to be, and then install the 2 end ones. Now we'll turn it around and we'll install the top trim. And it has a folded over edge on the back side that will hook over the back side of the trim and fold it down. And using the 2 shorter screws, we'll fasten the metal trim to the top plastic trim. Then we'll install the 2 end screws. These will grate into a plastic nut on the inner door panel. And we can install the 2 screws on the side. And again, these will go into a plastic nut that is inserted into the inner door panel. And now we're ready to reinstall the door on the range. Now to reinstall the door, we'll line up the slotted openings on the bottom with each of the hinges. Carefully lower it into position. Make sure it seats firmly on both sides, closes and opens easily, and our repair is complete. I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your repair.